Hey guys, what is going on? It's Alexander Williamson here. With a secret history living inside your aquarium. I am on day 27, I believe, of my own personal lockdown. Uh, as I've told some of you guys, I locked down because of my lupus and because I'm on some medication, or I was. Now I'm off of it, and it made my hair messy. It made me a slob. No, but it's causing me to get blisters in my skin and my knuckles to swell and all that sort of stuff. So, fun times, but it's really made the fish a big focus. And today, I wanted to just kind of talk to y'all, see how everybody's doing, say hello. Also, of course, I'll touch base with how the coronavirus stuff is going here in Seattle because we were kind of an epicenter and now we've kind of backed off of that list because of how bad New York is. But really, it comes down to testing. I think everywhere is going to be bad once they start testing more. We just happen to have a university that tested a whole bunch. Sherry, so you have the Z pack, huh? So what was it? Pneumonia or something, or what's going on? But in any case, hello everybody. Hello Ginger, great to see you. Pete, great to see you. Fake name Muppet, Fish Dreams. Sherry, of course. It's good to see all y'all. Cichlids 23, and who else is in here? Chewy LTD, what up? Um, Randall Blancard. Kay Halliday, what's up, Kay? Violet Alpha, shout out to all y'all. So I will be looking at any comments from here out. I'm probably not going to scroll back through, but that's in the name of forward momentum and progress. Adam Nickel, you sure can get a call out. And so can Nian. How's everybody doing? I know I already said that, but now there's more people in here. So I want to encourage everyone. First, let's get the coronavirus crud out of the way while people filter in here. I found my old spray painter's mask and fresh cartridges, and this is like N99. It's not even N95. It's like super duper quality. So if I needed to go visit somebody who was sick or something, I could do that. But yeah, so I stocked up. I know I told you guys 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, even earlier than that. I mentioned it, but I said to go stock up on stuff. Don't hoard, but go stock up on stuff because things are coming your way. But there is another chat link in my subscriptions for this channel. I hope nobody is waiting there. Yeah, I tried to set up this stream on a laptop, and I was gonna do some window openings so I could talk with another YouTuber who I guess I'll surprise you with another time. But it didn't work for some reason, and so we killed that stream. And then this was the stream that I had set. No, I just noticed something, guys. I'm very upset. Very, very, very upset. But now we'll find something out that I didn't want to find out this way. But I guess we will. It appears as though my male, he was old though. He was over 2 years old. My male, what did he die of? It's going to be a mystery that I'll have to investigate. But my male Scarlet Batis appears to be dead. There's mold on him, but he still looks like in pristine shape. He's still full color. There's a lot of stuff on his head that would be fungal. I'll put some antifungal treatment in there. But all the other fish, I believe to be fine. Hold on, let's give him a toilet burial. Dun, 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 dun. That's sad, but the thing is, um, when you have a fish that dies like that, um, in a colony of Battis, it looks like I have 8 females with him, but I guarantee you now, um, that there will be another male that comes out of there and steps up to take care of the rest of them. Because if we look around, you can still see the other fish. I think that one's going to be a male. See it actually it's posturing against the glass. If we can get a better view of it. But then we also have lots of little young ones in here that I guess have the the chance to grow. But that's a bummer. Let's see here. Tanks. Yeah, so today, guys, I'll be trying to just answer questions, and then we'll be going through some just common sense stuff, showing you guys what I'm up to. I've been doing a lot of breeding of fish while I'm on lockdown. And yeah, so Abigail, how's it going? I'm glad you're catching the live stream. Tanks 12, I would say, usually. So here it looks like we have, so we've got one female, another little female. You know, there are a bunch of shrimp in here, but they just hide in this tank. I don't know if it's my layout or if I offended them or what the deal is, but they sure hide a lot. These are those Santa or Little Red Riding Hood, whatever you want to call them. Sometimes people are calling the other ones Santa, the crystal. Or oh, check this out too, guys. So we have a buried Little Red Riding Hood shrimp from Aquatic Arts. Now, Aquatic Arts is a little bit backed up. Look at those bright yellow eggs. Kind of cool. They're a little backed up right now because they can only have X amount of employees. I don't know what the number is at their warehouse right now because of distancing. But since they are a pet food and supply company, they are allowed to stay open by federal mandate. That's a big change to update you guys with. They are allowed to stay open. That does not mean that they will stay open, but that is a new change to things. So I'm going to set this net aside because, you know, it was in this tank where clearly one of the fish died. None of the other dozen fish seem to be impacted at all that I can see. Yeah, they all seem fine. But you know what I'll probably do now is wait for another male to step up. Or in here we have scarlet, or sorry, red and what are they called? Red and a black tiger, red and black tiger Battis. There's one of the males. Hey, why'd that flip around on me? Sorry, guys. Yeah, so pet food and also pot shops will remain open. I can tell people with glee, I guess, or at least are allowed to remain open. So yeah, you can see here they're trying to hide with the Sawasser tang, but there is this. These are the other type of Battis that I have, and they're in this little breeding section because I'm about to actually take them out of here. So right now, good as time of any. These ones, the females show up far better than the other strains. So we've got these ones here. There's the female, clearly. She's the drabber one right here. And then we've got the 2 males. This one's the alpha male here. Anita Newhouse, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. That really helps in these times. You don't even know how much that helps. I appreciate it. I really wanted to start a couple immersed growth gardens. also. And so what I did here is they've been laying eggs. Sidetrack. They've been laying eggs, so I'm going to put them back into the tank they were in. Da-da-da! Hold on. Let me do this with both hands. Alright. So the fishies are back in the tank, and now the bottom of the tank has eggs in it. So if you look closely, there's little eggs in it. So then what I do is I flip this little pen upside down into the shrimp tank, and I'm going to sink it all the way so the bottom gets wet, and I'm going to let it sit overnight so that the shrimp, or it's not the shrimp are fine, but the shrimp in there, so that the shrimp tank is now a spot for the eggs that were in here. So I'll kind of just do this, just go around with my finger and just kind of go up and down a few times like a sieve. And then now those eggs that they laid in there over the last few days will fall down into the shrimp tank, and we'll be good to go, because I have a bunch of pregnant shrimp, and like this one you can see back in there, kind of behind the seam of the glass. But I have a bunch of pregnant shrimp right now, and so I wanted to make sure that they're all you know, not going to get eaten by the baddest, which tend to eat a lot of baby shrimp when you put them in there. So we'll take a look at the pen again. Looks like there's still a lot of debris in there. So we're going to flip it and soak it. I think I'll do that in this other tank too. It'll just be a mystery. But I want more room to work in the shrimp tank here and to show you guys. But this is what I do. So I basically collect, baby fish by doing that, or letting the adults. I'll just let like 3 adults go if I don't have a ton of pregnant shrimp. But right now, boy howdy, do we have a lot of pregnant blue dream shrimp in here. A few have died, which is a little disconcerting. But here's another pregnant female. But at the same time, I mean, there's a good amount, and some of them were getting pretty old. Pushing 3 or 4, probably 3, I would say, not 4. Those are probably all gone. But yeah, so we've got those ones pregnant. And then see here, we've got brand new baby shrimp back here. Itsy bitsy teeny. They're smaller than, I'm like almost touching them. They're smaller than the entrance to the pipette, which next to my finger, so they're about half as wide as that entrance. So gives you an idea. But I'll probably be needing to split this colony soon. And then once I split the colony, if you guys saw my last video on how I'm raising all these little baby fish, splitting the colony will help. And I can see right now that some of the debris that was in that fish pen is all falling still. And there's actually, I can see one egg that's floating. And the shrimp may kind of pick at that stuff, but usually eggs, they seem to have a tougher time getting to. Now, planaria could get to it, but in this tank, I really try to keep up on the planaria as best I can. We've got another pregnant female there, and another pregnant female on the sponge filter, and another pregnant female back there. And then we have that one there. So, what's that? 4 or 5 probably, guys? 4 or 5 probably pregnant females. And then, I mean, there's so many hidden ones, too, back here. So, I'm just trying to see if there's any fish in here to show you guys right now. Also, because there were still some baby, teeny, tiny little fish in here. Last I checked. Check out these little teeny shrimp. Let's see, I couldn't even catch it, it's so small. But yeah, so we got a good number of the Blue Dreams. These are from Lucas Bretz originally, and then I've also bred in a line with with some of the blue dreams from Aquatic Arts. But as you saw, I had fish in here, little teeny fry. And so now I've been doing every day. I look for, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. I look for the baby fry, and then I'll move them once I see them. They should all be big enough. Here, is this a dead shrimp? Let's see. Let's see, guys. That looks like it might be a dead shrimp. Nope. It's split at the shoulder. Sorry, guys. It's split at the shoulder. So when you see the exoskeleton and it's split at the shoulder, you know that it's just a shed. Whereas a dead will be... oh, there's a fish. And it's a betta. Let's see. We got it. So we got the betta in the tube. Focus. And then we're going to put the betta into the betta tank. That's what I'm calling it for right now. And I think there was one more. But they hide. These ones are the runts that are growing really slow. And that's fine. I mean, these ones are small enough that they're still not going to bug the baby shrimp too much. They're not going to, like, decimate it by any means. So, not worried about them. But that's that. All right. So now if we switch over to bring the light over here. See, I don't even need light. Just the natural ambiance from outside is fine. I don't need light on my baby bettas and so forth. Let me look at the chat in a minute here, but you can see here that the baby erythromicrons, that I've moved them with their parents. Separated male and female betta again. This is the female. And they're quick enough, the babies, that they can get away from her. So we've got the Phoenix Razoras, which we had 3 babies from. Not very good haul. And then we had the erythromicrons, which if we start looking, I'm sure we'll find them. There were a lot. I think I counted 17 or 18. So for one little breeding episode, that's pretty good. So there's the erythromicron fry right in there, swimming around. And like I said, they've got the tail spot on. See the dot on their tail? That's how I recognize them. All right. So then the other fry that we've got in another tank are the betta fry, and they're just hanging out all over this tank, the bigger ones. And they're probably back in here. They hide. They're little. There's one. Well, we'll look for them in a sec. Oh, there's one. They kind of hang out like leaves floating, waiting and eating whatever they can find. They seem to be picking at the algae and that kind of stuff. Zen Ginger, what's up? Lawrence, what's up? Otter Creek, what's up? How are y'all guys doing? Y'all guys. So this one, this batch of bettas, interestingly enough, we had the Thai flag, red, white, and blue father. And then we had the, I guess it could be an American flag too, but they're bred in Thailand. A strain came out of Thailand. And then we had that blue betta that I just showed you as the mother. So we're getting, looks like some little females with the more natural markings, the lines. They could change and be more male-ish, I suppose. Just we'll have to see. And then the smaller ones are still down here. And they're just hanging out. You can see right now that some of them are starting to get color. Like this one's going to be a blue or a green color. You can see it in her fins, her fins, yeah. And down here, this iridescent white one is going to have a blue color rather than a red color, even though, you know, it looks kind of pinkish because it's see-through. And then when we just take a look around, there are some really young fish in here still. See this little one? This is not even a millimeter long. So there's some teeny slowpokes that are also in here. Whereas I have some that are really big. I'm going to dunk this a few more times, shake it out, and then scoot the light over again, and then we'll call that good for getting the eggs out. And then I'll have to go ahead and wash the clean, or the little tank thing, the little I call it a tank, but it's a pen, I guess. Spawn a pen, not Sean Penn, spawn pen. Sorry guys, you're getting dizzy. All right. So now we have an unobstructed view. More betta babies. Right now, I think the angelfish babies all got eaten by the betta babies, from what I can tell, because I haven't seen any angelfish fry in a while. My bad. I learn every time I put a combo of fry together. But yeah, you can see some of the colors starting to come out. The live stream doesn't do it justice as usual, but you get the idea. You guys get the idea. So that's what's up. I've been feeding them vinegar eels and brine shrimp, live baby brine. If you guys are interested in the live baby brine, I have a link in the description to my setup, which doesn't require electricity. For like $30, or like $29.99, I think, you're up and running. And yeah, and then also, so we had the Tin Winnie that I spawned too. So there's a few of them now out and about. And then, yeah, here's more of the bigger bettas. And you can see they're approaching an inch long each. So kind of interesting how they grow at different, like such different rates. There's a white one up in here and a blue and red one. This one's green and blue. But there's a blue and red one somewhere in here that's just ginormous, like an inch and a half already. I don't know what it did other than eat probably all the angelfish. So, and then we've got also Luminatus fry, some Luminatus Pascal rainbow fish. There should be 6 or 7 of those that I got. There's those red and black tiger batis from Aquatic Arts also. And then my koi guppy line. I also tried mixing them with a rainbow metallic endler. So some of these are rainbow metallic endler first generation. And I can easily tell the difference because of the spots on the tail. Even though this is a female, it's got the orange, but it's also got like a metallic iridescence to them. Like this one, you can see some green and stuff on the side of the males. So I don't know, just another project. But let me read some of the chat, catch back up with you guys, work for the money that you guys toss my way. Thank you so much. As I said, I'm trying to get a tip to you guys that there are no more Aquasoil, Fluval, ADA, any of those things. None of it is coming in the U.S. anymore. So when the warehouse is out that supplies your fish shop, that's it. Oh man, Abigail, if you have green fungus in your swimmerets of your shrimp, that is Iliobiopsidae. It is a very, very bad fungus that is extremely communicable and about 95 to 99% fatal. So get that shrimp out of there. It will die, especially if you've already seen the green fungus growing. And get it away from all your other shrimp if you can. It is a bacteria that can grow from fish or plants, but usually it comes in from shrimp that are bought from China in bulk. So, I mean, it's a thing that happens. It's just known in the industry. But like Flip Aquatics, as much as I like a lot of their shrimp, and they do have some cheaper prices on certain things when they're on sale, they do buy from these big farms, and it's just hard to check 10,000 shrimp for little green dots that will grow, and basically it's a combination parasite and fungus, I believe, uh, team up and kill your shrimp. Um, all right, Otter Creek, yo. Um, do I breed ember tetras? I have bred them upstairs. I've got about 32, so I'm just letting them do their thing. In a tank like this, when you see how dense it is with hiding spots for fry, and also if we come around to this side a bit, you can see it's dense all the way through. So this tank, anything that's in here, I just get random babies of them every so often. And usually when I see the babies, I'll pull them out and put them in a different tank. But this is kind of the unintentional way to colony breed, is just to load your tank up with plants. And then what really kicks it off is if you have live food like brine shrimp or something like that, or vinegar eels, that tells the hormones in the fish, that triggers their body when they eat a certain amount of protein in their diet, and when they're active and hunting and their metabolism's up, it triggers their spawn reflex. And so, yeah. All right. Yeah, 9 ember tetras in a 10-gallon is fine, as long as you've got plants in there. With 10 neo shrimp, yeah, they're not going to bug the adult shrimp. They may eat some of the babies, but check out my video on rock hides. And basically, you can build up these little rock fortresses that allow shrimp to live under little ledges and things. There's kind of a strategic way to build them if you watch the video on shrimp hides and rock caves. And I build those in all my tanks that hold shrimp, even if it's just shrimp, because it makes them feel comfy. Also, moss works really well. So if you can see here, sorry, the reflection sucks, I know. But if you can see all of how thick and fine all of these branches and little leaves and things are in here, the moss works really well also for shrimp, because it's just a natural grazing ground. And in here, these fish will not hesitate. Within a second, they will eat, and so will the big female guppies. They'll eat an adult shrimp, and so will my my blue or my Honduran red point, the big blue as I call him, right there. He hunts the shrimp actively, and there's enough shrimp in here that I've just kind of shrugged it off and said, well, that's that. But we'll probably see one go by in a minute here, but they hang out in here, and they're bold enough that they'll hang out in spots where they get eaten. So I guess they're crowded enough that they're okay with that as a colony, and are still reproducing, because I still do see baby shrimp just every so often, like on a leaf cleaning something. So yeah, kind of odd. But I would recommend this, like the moss, if you're going to do the ember tetras and stuff, even though ember tetras by no means are known for eating shrimp or, being ill-tempered or anything like that. They're pretty peaceful. Just got your ideas into, Randall says, I just got most of my items in to build brine shrimp hatchery like Dean's design. Yeah, totally. You know what sucks is I have footage. I went with Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks like 2 years ago to Dean's house, which is about an hour from my house. Went over to his house. I got all this really cool footage and a great interview, and I've promised that I won't use it because he was going to start a YouTube channel. But then Corey from Aquarium Co-op, I think, has kind of been heading that side of things more, and so he didn't want everybody in our local area to start bugging him for interviews. So it's canned, and I hopefully at some point he'll let me release it, because I've got a lot on how we bred stuff and rainbow fish, angel fish, plecos, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. Ah, Anita ordered Akadama before everything was out. Very smart. Aquaballs, what's up? Ginger, thank you so much, sweetie. $50. Sending your fish to college. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Wow, you're too sweet. Also, I sketched out a little bit of your artwork. I've just been so blah because of getting off my meds, and it also messes with my emotions and moods. So just the fact of being all sick again, and then you get all paranoid that you've got the plague or whatever. Aquaball says, I only see 18 likes. Where are all the people? We got over, yeah, we got over, what, 4 dozen people in here? Let's hit that like button. Way to be, Ginger. You rock. My moderator is throwing down the big bucks. I really, like I said, I really do appreciate that. I was curious, did you guys like the content that I did on slime coats? It was like almost an hour lecture on kind of the nerdy side of things. So I was just curious if you like that. Is that okay? What I want to work on, because I'll be in quarantine for quite some time due to my autoimmune system, and I have been researching a couple subjects. I've got a lot of videos where I've started, and I've got like B-roll or an interview from a professor or from someone in my club who's been breeding for 50 years, a certain fish or something, and then I just haven't finished it or gotten the other pieces together. So I'm hoping that over the next month or two, we can get some of that stuff put together finally. Which nanofish can I put in my 20-gallon shrimp tank? I'm looking for something that's not going to eat the shrimps. I have a whole video on that, which is nano fish that are least likely to eat your shrimp. I think it's 20 fish I recommend. But I mean, just to rattle off a few, I think that autosynclus, like a marbled autosynclus, they're really cool looking. They've got like zebra stripe pattern. They're cool and they don't bug anything. Panda loaches are my very favorite. If you keep the water around 72 degrees, keep it a little cooler, they're really great. They like a little bit more running water though. They're a little more specialized, but I have a couple videos on them. And then, some really easy ones that I would recommend are celestial pearl danios, erythromicrons, or emerald dwarf rasboras. Male endlers do pretty well because they stay towards the top, and as long as you've got, something like this going on or some little piles of rocks for the shrimp to hide under, it's totally fine. These guys, these loaches actually don't really eat anything live that I see. They just eat mostly algae and biofilm stuff. But these are multi-barred dwarf loaches. Sometimes they're called Burma border barred loach, which is, I see why they changed the name. And another one that I really like are clown killies or rocket killifish, because they'll hang out near the top. There's no way they eat any baby shrimp. I've never seen them do it. So they're pretty good. College is cheaper now because it's online. Right on, it should be. I've been saying that so I went to college, finished up about a decade ago, and I took a class called Cyborg Anthropology, which sounds like a crazy, silly, nerdy class, and it kind of was. But we looked at science fiction and literature, and then looked at everything from hacking to biomechanics and bioengineering, and looked at the future of things. And yeah, it was just a really interesting class. And in that class, we talked about how learning will be demonetized, or I guess monetized differently, hopefully less, because it's gotten outrageously expensive to go to college, you know. Literally, when I started college in, I think I paid in '05 was the first quarter I paid. And in the time that I went there and got my degrees, I got 2 degrees and a minor. So anthropology and history, um, and then archaeology. So it was cultural anthro and then archaeology. But I paid $920 my first quarter. The last quarter that I went to school, right before the economy tanked, I think like 2008 or 9, I want to say, it was like uh, $2,400. So, man, it went up a lot quickly. I'm scared to even know what it is now, not to count even like, you know, dining hall and food and uh, all that kind of stuff. So, Corey actually came out to our club a few weeks ago, had a great time eating dinner with him and discussing his story and the current state of things due to the virus. Oh, that's awesome, Randall. Do you know what his plan is? Is he going to close down at all? I know they've stayed open kind of so far, at least last week. But he doesn't work in the store at all anymore. So I was wondering, you know, if it was kind of going to be up to, um, why am I spacing on his name? Up to the manager. Gosh, I can't remember his name right this second. Uh, yeah, and people that you see in videos that are kind of like sub managers. Oh, good, you like the slime coat video. Um, can you keep an angelfish with a ram cichlid in a 20-gallon tank? You could keep young angelfishes if you had a place to put them later, or if you were gonna move them or give them to a friend later. I mean, some angelfish are smaller. Like if you got an Altum angel, maybe that might be a little easier. Or if you're just growing it out a little bit, then that's fine. I wouldn't worry at all about the cichlids. I've kept cichlids in a 10-gallon like this one here. It's all about layout and blocking fields of vision, but also still giving them a place to swim. Like in here, usually my bettas eat all my shrimp, but in here, the female betta doesn't even seem to look at the shrimp. It's weird. There's still a bunch of shrimp in here. Um, but yeah. And then let's take a look at this tank. These are the true koi guppies, and the Somfongzi rasboras, the ones that were they were extinct in the wild as we knew it for 58 years. And then somebody got a message, or got a mess of random Harlequin and Lamb Chop and SB rasboras, and sorted them and found 3, 1 female and 2 males in Germany at Aquarium Glazer, and they were able to breed them back. And these ones I have are relatives of those. As these are great fish if you can find them to go in a nano shrimp tank. They're awesome. Also, Pandagaras, they're not going to eat shrimp whatsoever. Daisy rice fish don't seem to bother them much. Back there you can see there's a female erythromicron. There's that barred border loach again. And then celestial pearl danios are essentially the same species as erythromicron. They just, instead of stripes like this, they have a solid blue background color and then little bronze stars. So hence the celestial name. Oh, look at this. We got a little lily growing with no bulb. That's kind of odd. I wonder if a cutting or something broke off. Weird. And then, yeah, so these are my Indian rice fish, the golden ones, and then my blue ones were back up with the baby erythromicrons. Also, my these guys are in here now, the half beaks, because in the 20-gallon long, they just decided that they were gonna bash their face. They would run the full length of the tank, and they would just bash their face into the end to the point where one of them broke almost his entire beak off, which is his lower jaw, and was having trouble eating and all sorts of stuff. So now they're in here, and it's a lot more like they know with all the hanging lily pads and stuff. They know where the borders are. So I'm hoping that they'll spawn soon because these guys are actually live breeders too. And these are another great choice for shrimp. Now they do like brine shrimp and things like that, but because of the shape of their mouth, they have a hard time. See that lower jaw is so big, they have a hard time catching baby shrimp. They're predators that ambush kind of from the bottom, jumping straight up, and they will jump out of the tank. So you need to leave at least 2 inches, if not more, on the lip, or just kind of stop their ability to have a run up. Like don't let them have very far to swim. These Pandagaras are also great. They'll clean your glass a bit. They'll come and kiss your finger when you put it in the tank, which is always cute. They're very cute when they're young. Autosynclus. Here's just a normal Autosynclus, but they're another great shrimp pairing. And then Phoenix Rasbora, as I said, those are a great shrimp pairing. I like them more than chili rasboras, but you can also use chili rasboras and things like that. Let's see here. No, I'm not using even Easy Green in these tanks, Aqua Balls. I don't. I was using Easy Green on some things, but then upstairs the tank, I use ADA's their macro and micronutrient system. Basically, they have one that's it's potassium and larger particles, like there's no nitrogen in it. That's the part I don't like about Easy Green is if you have a very lightly stocked tank, then it's okay, but for me it causes algae every time I use Easy Green, because I keep my tanks fairly well stocked, and that's just how I roll. I love when you pick a species and do a show how they are living in your tank. I love it when you give a personal take on it. Okay, yeah, totally. So kind of species spotlight with the history of it and stuff like that, and the biology and evolution of it. I can do more of those. I was gonna do one on rice fish soon, since they're a great candidate just to put in a Rubbermaid tub outside, or an old whiskey barrel, or whatever, something like that, and just put some water lilies in there. They're awesome for. They'll just multiply like gangbusters. Because these Daisy Indian, these are gold Indian rice fish actually. These aren't the triangular Indian rice fish. These are still the other kind with the blue eye. But they carry their eggs right back here with these little fins. They're venticular fins and anal fin. Robert, yes, thank you. Sorry, guys. Robert, I'm sorry if you're watching this, buddy. Yeah, the guy who decides if you can buy or sell stuff, and has been running the store for like 3 years now. At one point, I think he almost took over, but he kind of decided he didn't want that. Another Easy, or another Z, another Z. What is going on, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while, so good to see you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Ginger linked the slime coat video. Like I said, kind of dry, but it's great. Henry Chavez, what's going on? Hola. One of my buried shrimp died. Any tips on how to make sure the babies make it? I don't have an egg tumbler. That is a little tough. If the eggs are very mature and they've started to turn kind of gray and you can see the dots in their eyes, then what I would do, if you have a hang off the back filter, what I would do is I would get like some pantyhose or cheesecloth, some sort of breathable material, and you can actually fashion a bag that hangs in here, and you can hang it off your hang off the back filter, and that water passing through will work as an egg tumbler. I've done that in a pinch. The other thing you can do is if you're working with the sponge filters like these, if you have an outlet, you can get the babies. You can use an X-Acto knife and cut them out from the mom because she'll start to rot. So get rid of the babies from the mom very carefully. You may crush a couple eggs near her body. But if she's passed away already, try to save the babies. And if you have this exact filter, which is a really common one, I've seen people actually put a screen that they've made out of just like Brillo pad or sponge and use the actual shaft in here as an egg tumbler. That's one way. But yeah, so there's ways, but I would use the outflow. The only time that you might be stuck is if you have kind of like a sponge like this without the outflow that just bubble, I guess, like, hold on. Like this sponge. But even here, it has a plastic tower, and so you could put the eggs in a little, I mean, you could even use plastic if you were really in a pinch, and get a really teeny tiny needle and poke little holes all over it, and then put the eggs in that. Sometimes that'll work. Or, you know, the last resort is you get some, if you have it, and this is kind of something that you'd have to be a fish breeder to probably have on hand, but that's methylene blue. And methylene blue will sterilize any bacteria, and so they don't need to be tumbled, really. But, you know, I'm sorry. That's a tough one. It's kind of a 1 in 4 or 5 shot when the mother dies. I've not had any half-beak babies. I wish I had. I should give them, like, their own setup that promotes that. Maybe we'll do a video on that, because I really would like them to have some babies. Just for my own curiosity, because I've never bred them before, to be honest. These are and they're happy, the erythromicrons, and AKA emerald dwarf rasboras. The males have that dark coat with the gold or copper bar pattern, and then you can see that was just a baby that swam by. It's interesting watching these babies grow with their parents. I've never put them in with their parents so quickly, but they're growing much quicker, and I don't know if it's just because they're running from their parents so much or what, but you can see they're the same age as all of my betta fry, and they're just zooming off. So yeah. Yeah, your daughter said she wants you to get some half beaks now. Well, I think you should too. They're not too expensive when you find them online. They're like $7 usually, $6. And they should live a little while. Blackbeard, algae. Oh, you love to get rid of? Oh, or get rid of. What I use to get rid of blackbeard algae, other than reticulated Siamese algae eaters, are the absolute best thing for it, in my opinion. But I will just get hydrogen peroxide. Usually I get more than 3%, but that's what I have right now. And then I get a hypodermic needle from, like, for insulin. Let's see here. Like this. Like this. And sometimes I'll take the needle off, but other times I'll just leave it like this. So if it's a big area I need to treat, I'll take the needle out with pliers, and I'll just use the barrel. You can also just get these for like kids, like medication and stuff without the needle. So if you're treating a big area, you can do about 5 tablespoons per 20 gallons, or I'd say 2 tablespoons for a 5-gallon, and I'd say probably 12 for a 40. It's not quite linear just because of the way it breaks down. But hydrogen peroxide turns back into water and oxygen when it hits the water. Also, I'll be breeding more of these guys. They're the only ones other than the bettas in here. I love these. I know they're, I mean, people just don't appreciate these as much as I do usually. But these I think are beautiful. The Tin Winnie Danios. They will eat baby shrimp somewhat, but not like insane amounts. Now, this tank has been growing algae just like crazy, and every plant in it melts. And I've never had a tank do this before. I don't know what's going on. My stargrass is turning black, which means when it dies. And then we've got like the hair algae, which I've dealt with the hair algae, the slime algae. There's whole videos on that. And I can get it to go away in like, I don't know, 72 hours, no problem. But it keeps coming back. So I don't know if the substrate, the rocks that I used from another tank, might have just been so impregnated with the spore of some sort of algae. But I'm also getting this stuff that balls up in black chunks that look like turf and then break off. Oh, bettas, you're so weird. Looks like she's hunting something, but so then here's the daisy blue rice fish. These are they have like more of a blue steel color. Still a little bit of yellow on their side, but they're blue reflective. So they're pretty similar to the rice fish in there. But I kept them separate. I'm gonna do them in tubs outside. And we'll do more tubbing talk later. Scarlet Batis, they kind of hang out like this, suspended in motion most of the day, eating little micro, I don't know, plankton or algae. I don't know what they're eating. They're eating something. Um, let's hop upstairs. I'm going to show you my favorite cure for blackbeard algae real quick. And that would be the reticulated algae eaters. And that is this guy right here. So I'll do a video on the 4 types. This is known also as a flying fox some places. What you don't want is a Chinese algae eater. And sometimes they're mislabeled, so it's good to know them. This one has a diamond that goes right to the fork in the tail, and it's a little darker. The scales have a darkness in between, whereas downstairs, oh, there's all my emerald, or sorry, ember tetras. There's one chunk of them. There's another chunk hiding over here too. And the other thing is that my angelfish laid eggs again on a dead leaf. That's not very smart. I don't know what you guys are doing. But this gal's laying eggs. You can see her ovipositor out right now. She did this since I went downstairs. This is the male she's paired off with. So I think they'll make some interesting blue-hued highlighted babies. We'll see. And then I really want to breed these two. Might give them their own tank soon if they don't pair off better. But these are a rare form of the umbrella, the gold umbrella cichlids. These are dwarf opal umbrella Apistoborellii, apistogrammas. And this is the male. And the female, well, she's super flighty. Also, you can see the pleco, the L1 or the L38, 138. Thanks for the $5 super chat out of Mexico. Big up, you guys. I appreciate it. As I said, oh, I lost, and I totally understand why with the virus and everything, but I lost some supporters on Patreon, and I lost, I lost a good chunk of my patron income. So I might not be buying as many fish or anything. I'll probably be breeding and trying to sell or trade. But even that's hard because everybody's in quarantine. So I don't know what's up. But there's an infinite amount of history, and I've got a lot of plants we haven't discussed, a lot of biology, things like why are fish shaped the way they are, how do fish eyeballs work, what colors do fish see, how do plants transport nutrients, why are the scales all screwed up on this angelfish Is it have dropsy or something, or is it just because it won't piss off and leave this one alone? That kind of thing. All right, so my wife has a candle burning, and this will be I'm interrupting her This Is Us time. If you guys watch TV, that's one of her groovy shows. Cherry blossoms are out. It's great to look at from inside. It is gray, and I feel like I'm being digested in an oyster. Living in Washington, as always. These angelfish, I guarantee you, will be laying eggs within the next 4 days. These cribs, I love. These are still my project. I'm trying to breed them smaller and smaller with each generation. These are Apisto lacunja, or sorry, not Apisto. Chase off the angelfish. There are Pelvicochromis, Poulter mixed with Pelvicochromis tinniatus was its former name, but the morphology of these ones is from the Lacunja Upper Falls, and then the Bapindi. There may be Maliwe in there too, but we've got the 5 babies. Out of the 30 she had, only 5 survived because we had another pair of cribs in here. And right now we have 2 female cribs and a male, and that extra, or the other male from the pair, unfortunately passed away. And now the other female is determined to pick off the babies, but they're getting big enough that they're really quick. And so while their parents are protecting them, and it's been an interesting emotional saga, yeah, I won't let her kill them. You know, I've been keeping a close eye on if she can catch them. And so far, there were 6, but the last one she got was weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Oh, Sherry, thank you. So Sherry's sending me some rations that she was out on the East Coast and I could not get all the supplies. Um, I'd already kind of locked myself in, uh, and I had my videos telling you guys, I know I'm a fish channel, but human to human, please prepare. Please prepare because we have a really, really bad thing coming. And I think you guys, it's slowed down. I still have a few people saying it's just going to be like the flu. Don't worry about it. Well, at minimum, it's 10 times worse than the flu. And in some countries, some places, it's 50 times worse than the flu, the amount of people dying. And it's 3 times as contagious. So here in Seattle, we were kind of the epicenter because it hit a nursing home that killed 50 of the 160 dead we have today. But each day we're losing more and more. Today as a country we've lost 1,000. Now that may not sound like that many people. You think, hey, 30,000 people die of the flu this season. Like that is the projection this year that of elderly people and people with other problems like cancer and things will die from influenza A and B. Well, problem with that is that 30,000, okay, well, we're seeing a doubling every 3 days in death here. So if you look back a week ago, we didn't even have 100 dead in New York. And now we're seeing, I think, almost 200 today or 150, something like that, and 100 the day before, and 50 the day before, and then 25 before that. So if it doubles like that, it's just, I mean, it's bad. Am I worried about getting stuff through the post? I hear it can last weeks on surfaces. Well, so I've done a lot of research on this, and yes, it can last up to 29 days in perfect conditions on stainless steel. That's true. In like freezing in a freezer that's set up just for bacteria. However, most cases it's not going to live on a surface like cardboard more than 3 days max, and more likely a few hours. UV light is the best thing you can do to kill it, honestly, better than bleach or alcohol. Like leaving it in the sun for half a day in your living. I don't know if I'd bring it into your living room, but on your porch, even if it's if it's nothing important, that will decontaminate it. I have a package coming tomorrow or the day after from Lucas Bretz, and he just wanted to help me out with some new livestock because I'm cooped up, you know, and he's a cool dude, and I do his art for him, so fair trade. Um, so I should have some, maybe some killifish and peacock gudgeons and some shrimp coming. I think that's what's coming, and maybe Hudori, cryptocoron plants. But I would say, I mean, if you have Lysol, or you can just take 5 tablespoons of bleach. If you have like actual bleach from like in a big gallon container, $2 at my local drugstore. You can put that 5 tablespoons of bleach into a gallon of water and then pour that into a spray bottle, and that will take care of things. I'd probably do 10 of the bleach as long as you're not worried about ruining something. Like, don't spray your clothes with that, but it doesn't live very well on porous surfaces, which surprises me, but it doesn't. Also, I wanted to let you guys know the kind of joke, I guess. I don't know if it's a joke or not. It's not a joke. The I will definitely show you, Anita. I will definitely show you, and Mark, yes, I will definitely show you guys the stuff from Lucas. I'll probably do it live because he packs pretty well, and I'm not like, I mean, I support him. I think you should check him out and everything. Right now has been a hectic time for him, and I know he's trying to move, but that's on hold. And he's trying to get rid of most of his stock right now, last I heard. So now might be a good time to hit him up about that. But there are a lot of people who want it. Adam Nickel, thank you so much. Mr. Nickel gives me $10. How does that work? I really, really appreciate that, guys. And big shout out to Canada. Looks like your leaders are a little bit better off than ours as far as preparing for things. Or maybe you're just not testing like we were. You know, we in Seattle, we may have as many cases as New York, even like per capita, but we're not testing. You have to be in the hospital, like dying to get a test. And I'm not joking. I have a nurse. A nurse lives in the same building as me downstairs. She got coughed on by somebody, and they won't give her a test, and the lady's being hospitalized for pneumonia, and now the lady's gone from the nursing facility, like hospice nursing facility. Oh, that's water. I filled that with water last night and forgot. It is not the refreshing Dr. Pepper I wanted. This is. Oh, and I have to shout out new cream soda Dr. Pepper. Right, honey?
Great.
It's real good. So, Dr. Pepper, sponsor me for this pandemic.
Can I give a shout out to some Pinot Noir?
My wife is shouting out her Pinot Noir. So, however you got to lock it down, lock it down. I don't do the alcohol, but the Dr. Pepper, you can ask her. Like, when I crack a Dr. Pepper, I'm like... And she's like, you sloshed it after you drank it. I did nothing. But, man, just refreshing to me. All right, guys. Ginger, they wouldn't test me either. I'm considered low risk and have no symptoms. Yeah, if you have no symptoms, there's no way you're getting a test unless you're Kobe Bryant. Oh, wait, no, he's dead. Unless you're Kevin Durant. How do they know that all the Knicks, like 6 of the Knicks, have asymptomatic coronavirus when nobody was sick at the time? Oh, it's because rich people get tested. That's why. That's why. Oh, cool. If your betta is breeding aqua balls, if you've dealt with it before, then ignore what I'm saying and do whatever you want. But what I do is once they lay their eggs, and I give them like, I don't know, half a day, make sure they're fertilized and everything, then I'll scoop them out and I'll put them in a tank with nothing other than shrimp or snails or nothing. Not even snails. I don't trust snails. Snails are shady. That can be the name of this video. Snails are shady. some will eat eggs if they're hungry. The other thing that I was going to tell you guys is so chloroquine. Chloroquine is a drug that I should be on because of my lupus. So I can't be on biologics like Humira or Enbrel or things like that right now, because if I were to get sick, I would have no immune system. It'd be essentially like being a cancer patient. Well, Donald Trump has decided that chloroquine and Z-Paks, which are I guess an erythromycin based antibiotic in a pack, zithromycin is what it's called, in a pack that's like high dose and then less dose and then less dose and then less dose. It's like dosed out for you. There's a few different Z-Pak dosages, but those in combination with hydroxychloroquine will actually, it's known as Panquinol, or Panquel. And I literally just talked to my doctor because I had to get off steroids. I had to get off all that stuff, all of the any biologic, and I'm just in extreme pain. My body's like all red and flushed, like just hot, and I'm just tired and sore, and kind of out of sorts mentally for a lot of the day. So I like took a nap before this video, for instance, but he can't prescribe it because literally the White House put a hold on it for prescribing for lupus or arthritis unless they have a 5-year history of being on it. So I wanted the medication to help me feel better. There's literally nothing they can do other than say, like, you want half of a Valium so you can calm down. But they have done studies, amazing studies, as Trump would tell you. They're just incredible, fantastic. They're the best studies. These studies, really, they're just so great. They're the greatest studies that anybody has studied. Terrific studies. I mean, the best people studying the studies. They're tremendous studies. And there are 6 people in the study, and no double blind, and no control. So we don't know if it's actually that great of a drug. It probably will help malaria drugs. If it helps lupus, then it acts on the ACE2 and ACE2 proteins, docking proteins, and things like that. So hopefully it does help. But yeah. Somebody, Aquaball says, yeah, my kids are on steroid because of muscular dystrophy. I'm sorry, that's a rough one, but I'm sure they will be better human beings for having to deal with that adversity. I promise you they will. Definitely more compassionate, or bitter and angry, either way, but we're gonna go with compassion. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people can't get their medications because 92% of medications are made in China. Studies do take years, Ginger, yes, and not weeks usually, and not just 6 people that one doctor looked at. They are studying it a lot more, so we'll see. Revestivir, Recidivir, there's a few protease inhibitors that I think they're looking at that are like HIV drugs. The moral of this story is, if you need something for yourself and you're literally out and the hospitals are flooded, get your fish antibiotics now. I'm not telling you to take them. I'm telling you that they're made in an FDA inspected facility. Super fun quiz right now. Guess what, guys? The FDA is not monitoring any facility that makes drugs in the US right now. They're all busy doing testing kits. And so they wrote a waiver 2 weeks ago that the FDA, DEA, nor the pharmacy board will be checking on quality control, dosage, or any of that stuff for an indeterminate amount of time into the future, because they're either busy or they're practicing social distancing. So in a time of medical crushing trauma, pain, and our system being overloaded, we're not checking the drugs, and China makes the precursors. So you think Advil or Aleve, something like that, would be made in America, right? Like it says it on the bottle in a lot of them, manufactured in Gary, Indiana. I don't know, wherever. Well, it was manufactured there in that they took three powders. They took lactose powder and they took paracetamol or whatever you want to call it, APAP, um, or Tylenol or acetaminophen. They're all the same drug, but they take those things and then they press them into a pill and then they put sugar coating around them. So that's manufacturing. But they get that bag of stuff from China. And here Trump is saying it's a Chinese flu, it's a Chinese flu, which is true. But if we're relying on China, like let's not get them pissed off about it. I called my vet meds for cat has an upper respiratory infection and they gave me 4 scripts for zithromycin. Oh man, you lucked out, Anita. Can you hook it up? Message me. I'll give you my address. Just kidding. That would be illegal. I wouldn't do that. Yeah. So emergency person. Oh yeah, 2.5 gallon killifish tank. Sure, why not? As for drugs, they may be put together in one factory, but the components are from all over the world. Yeah, they call them precursor ingredients, and sometimes you can track down where they're from. But there's actually a law saying that they do not have to discuss where their precursors are from, and they're not regulated. Only the resulting. Yes, honey.
Beckoning you to your chambers.
What are you hinting at?
Love you.
She says we have to play downstairs, guys. All right. All right, guys. So, now that we're kicked out, also, chloroquine, the stuff that kills algae in your aquarium is not hydroxychloroquine, and a lot of it that is hydroxychloroquine has been denatured. Now, denatured, even if it says 95.9% hydroxychloroquine, denatured means that it's been made poisonous for humans. So that's just like rubbing alcohol. Or, well, no, rubbing alcohol, that's isopropyl. That's a problem for humans anyways. But just like hand sanitizing alcohol, if it's ethyl alcohol, if that's the case, methyl and isopropyl alcohol are poisonous anyways. But ethyl alcohol, they'll put things like, I don't know, like a bunch of copper fulminate or something in it. Stuff that makes you, like, vomit violently or that would poison you if you drank it, so that people don't. And then like hardcore drunks will still chug a bottle of mouthwash or whatever, even though it's got ingredients actually put in there just to make you sick. Mark, what's going on? I hope they don't F with your thyroid cancer. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That is a rough one. And I would make a plan with your doctor really, really carefully. I would do that and see if he'll write you a script for double the dose. Like, and then just save that your next month. Because they are running out of so many drugs. I have a friend who's a pharmacist, and he said that they have 153 drugs that are considered essential out of 200 on this top list for national safety. 153 we're running low on or are down to just warehouse supplies, but they're not importing it currently. So hopefully China starts doing it again, or maybe you're on a drug that is made in the US if the patent hasn't expired still. But any generic medication gets pretty much outsourced to India or China. Can I keep Cory catfish with my ram cichlids? Oh yeah, they'll get along just peachy. Um, well, good. I hope it still remains easy to get. I'd still talk to your doctor about getting an extra dose if you can. That goes for anyone on anything. Uh, Corzer, do you know if it's a good idea to mix hydrogen peroxide with mouthwash to make it more effective in killing germs? No, I would say probably not because usually it creates a chemical reaction. If you see any foaming that goes on, because there's a lot of kinds of mouthwash, but with most alcohols, water, solvents, things like that, things that are not a lipid layer or a protein layer, it's going to react with that, and the water in it is going to rip apart that so that it decomposes rather quickly. It could produce heat, I suppose, but usually it just bubbles and expands. That's the reaction at a slower pace than anything dangerous. But it's kind of like, should I mix Windex and bleach or ammonia and bleach? No, no, it'll make poisonous gas. So don't mix household stuff usually, like in general, because a lot of times they're super acidic or super basic, or they're super ionic and they're like ready to cling on to things and like then they all glob off together. But when that happens, then they're either ready to bond or they're really unstable and they're ready to decompose. And so it's just a bad idea in general. But I mean, bleach is, it can detoxify water. You can drink bleach. It'll break down into chlorine and water, salt. But that, let's see here. Yeah, so the other thing, yeah, just don't drink the chloroquine because a couple in Arizona heard Trump saying chloroquine's great, it's going to save us all, it's probably going to be preventative, and they went and they bought some online from, like, they Googled it, and bleach will be back, I promise you. Bleach is a very easy chemical to make. We don't source that overseas necessarily, or if we do, we can make it here very quickly. Also, alcohol. A lot of distilleries are making alcohol also. And online, I bet you can get bleach still because it's just used so much industrially for everything. So bleach probably you'll get. But the other thing, people have been using vinegar. That does not work. It works a little bit on certain things, but same with like lime juice or lemon juice. The acidity will sometimes kill certain bacterias and fungi and stuff, but viruses are very different, and they're hardy. They're brutal. So thanks for listening to me. If you prepared for the sickness, I'm glad that I could help you. And if you are, if you're not in possession of fish food right now, and fertilizer and substrate, I mean, you're not going to be able to get nets and stuff too. But I could do a video on how to make, use pantyhose or cheesecloth and a coat hanger to make a net. I mean, things like that aren't a problem. But if you need a new filter or a new tank, rimless tanks definitely are pretty much all made overseas unless they're custom shop. So you will not be getting any more of those. So anything UNS, Ultimate Nation Systems, is shut down. ADF, UDF, most of the shops and crews that do aquascaping in the U.S. And in DC, what are they called? Massey? No, Massey's in Indiana. In DC, there's another group. I'm spacing on their acronym, but they do a lot of work with whatchamacallit, aquascaping, and they're not selling things either. All right, guys. Well, I'm feeling kind of worn out here. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank those of you who are, yes, you can make rimless tanks. Just be careful. Learn what you're doing. Don't like bust the seam test it first before you do it. I could do a video on that too. But yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. It's always good to chat with you. I know this was a little impromptu, just kind of, what's up, guys? The next week is going to be awful in our country. The truth is going to hit a lot of people. Don't mean to sound conspiratorial, but we're probably going to lose. I hate to say it, but I bet you by next week we'll have over 10,000 people lost in our country easily. So stay indoors. I know it may not be in your town that you know of, but it probably is. And wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Take care. Thanks for the super chats. Thank you guys. If you are or were a Patreon supporter, I still love you. I know that it's hard times right now. So just do what you can when you can, if that's what you're thinking. You don't have to explain yourself at all. I'm in the same position as you guys. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later, and just take care, be well, take care of your critters, the people around you, and take care of yourself, or you can't do any of those other things. And I think if half of us did half that stuff, we would have baby bettas. We would have a world that is twice as good. All right, guys. I will talk to you all later. And thanks again for the support and the love. And also on the Facebook group, shout out to those of you who have become friends with one another and all of that jazz. Ooh, look how full this one is. I swear, it ate a baby. That is what happened. That ate the other frickin'. That ate the smaller one. This is that inch long. All right. On that note, it ate a baby. The betta ate a baby. All right. Bye, guys. Talk to you later.